Everyone. Hi, this is Tina, the Keto Coach, and I'm back here live with Friday Night Treats with Tina. I just wanted to thank you all for your love and your support and your encouragement and all of that stuff. I really, really do. And today, like I said, I'm going to be making quiche Lorraine. I've already pre-made some things. I already pre-made my crust. I'm going to have the upload the recipe for that. I have my eggs. I already made my, bacon. I already made my bacon and crushed it up, and I already have my caramelized onions and everything, and my cheeses and my heavy cream. It's going to be quick to put together. You know, the longest thing that took the longest is basically making the bacon. The bacon took about 20 minutes or so to make the whole pack of the bacon, so that's what we're going to have. So once again, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for your support and your love and your encouragement. Don't forget to check out my information in my description link. It's going to tell you how to order some of my swag. I have t-shirts and all that fun stuff and things like that you can wear. You know, I think some water bottles and yoga mat and a carrying bag and all of that stuff. I think you all will love it, and the colors are real bright and beautiful. So go ahead and check that out on my link that would take you to Teespring. There you go. Also, those of you that are looking for information about keto, want to see what is the real deal, you know, about keto and everything. And yeah, Tina really did lose a whole lot of weight with keto, and I see the difference in her. Yes, I did. I have a lot of information dealing with basically research studies and basic information about keto and everything. So my plan for me on this program is to go up maybe extra steps. Of course, you all know I work out a lot, and I'm pretty intense about my workout, but I'm adding more weight. I do lift weights, but I want to add more because I really, really want to build muscle. But of course, being a woman, it's harder for us to get muscle on. I have some. I don't want too much, but I want to look real toned. You know what I mean? So any of you that are interested in doing that also, definitely inbox me, let me know. And if you're already doing it, tell me how you're doing it and what you're doing and everything. I'm researching about that now. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and get with this quiche Lorraine. I'm going to go ahead. I have 6 eggs. I'm going to go ahead and put these eggs in my mixer. This is a nice quiche to make for brunch. It can be for anything. Quiche is great for anything. It can be for brunch, lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever you want to make it for. Perfect for everything. That's what I like about making a quiche. And when you bake it in the oven, it only takes about 20 minutes. So we're going to bake it for the 20 minutes while I have you here with me. And some of you can send me some information, some questions or whatever you may have about keto or keto carnivore, because I'm mostly between keto and carnivore, and ask why I do both or one or the other. Some of you already know I no longer have to take diabetes medication any longer. And that was a problem. I guess that gave me the extra motivation that I needed to really take it seriously, because I was looking at the research. Thought about going vegan. I'm sure some of you out there are vegan, and that's fine. That's up to you. But that really wasn't for me. Not at all. I found that would cause me, I would probably still be taking medication. And I would still have weight on me because I have issues with desiring carbohydrates. And usually vegan programs, although you're eating some protein, you tend to want to eat more carbohydrates, and that's something I can't have and I can't do. And I feel so much better being keto carnivore. And there are people that used to be vegan and vegetarian that are no longer, that have jumped on board to the keto carnivore bandwagon. But like I always say, there's plenty of things out there for everybody. It's up to you to try and do what works for you. I just feel blessed that I found out about this type of program, that it truly works for me. I've been through the whole gamut. I've had weight issues since I was a child. I remember being 9 years old, weighing 105 pounds. So this has always been an issue for me, you know. So I've always fought this battle. and went up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You know, a lot of people were seeing I was a lot like our late great Miss Franklin, the singer, with my weight. You know, and it's difficult. It's very hard. It's very hard. I want to make sure that this my onions are cooled down some. I'm going to go ahead and put in my heavy whipping cream with my eggs. It's almost about a cup. Almost. Maybe a cup, 3/4 cup, you know. I'm going to go ahead and put that in here too. So the eggs are whipping up. Go ahead and get this in here. Yes. Let me whip this up some more. I'm looking forward to this because I'm actually hungry. I haven't really had breakfast today and everything. I'm sure, like I said, this is the weekend. I call it Friday night treats. Go ahead and hook yourself up with this. This is real easy, real simple. Like I said, the most you have to do is just cooking your bacon. And I made the whole pack. Doesn't matter what type of bacon. If you like the pepper style, go ahead. That's fine too. I'm whipping this up. I'm going to go ahead and throw my caramelized onions and garlic. Oh yeah, that's looking good already. I'm going to take my cheese. This is a combination of Swiss and Gruyere. Quiche Lorraine is a French dish. So I'm going to go ahead and cut open this package of this Swiss. It's a combination of Swiss and Gruyere. Like, I'm always eating something Italian on Fridays, like pizza or something, of course keto style. Why not make something else? I'm gonna go ahead and put in, I'm gonna try like a half a cup. This is really thick cut. I might end up using a whole cup, which is fine. Like I said, don't be afraid to cook. You know, don't be afraid. Some of this stuff you're gonna end up making it to your own taste and to your own preference. I got that in there. I'm gonna see how that looks. And I have some Jack, shredded, Monterey Jack here. I'm going to take about a half a cup of this one. And then we're going to do some question and answer once I put this in the oven. It's like a half a cup. Let me go ahead and spin this around. Some more. Okay. I'm going to gradually add my bacon. Like I said, I have the whole pack. Who's going to make this tonight? Let me know. I know some of you are probably at work and on your lunch break. And since this is a live, some of you might be able to catch it later on after you get home from work. You may happen to have some of these ingredients in your refrigerator. Messy fingers. They're clean, but they're messy. Oh, this is looking really good. Let me get me a spatula. You know how I am with my spatulas, to get everything out so I can put it in either my ramekins, because some people often make this without crust, but I have a crust for this. I'm going to do both and put this in the oven. What are you all doing fun for this weekend? Let me know. Maybe I'll join you. How about that? I'm going to put my cream back in the refrigerator. making sure at the bottom of my measuring cup, all this heavy whipping cream, I want to make sure I get as much in as possible for this. I wish you all can come by so I can go ahead and give you all some of this too. Oh yes, it's whipping up, and it's whipping up very good. Okay, turn this off. Haha, that's funny. Some of the bacon stuck to the whisker. Is that what they call it? Go ahead and get this. Yeah, pull out those appliances that you all have. You know, it's okay to go out to eat. But you find when you're trying to get your life back and get your diet together that you're going to be doing cooking. You're going to be cooking. And look up recipes. Look up some of your favorite recipes, things that you like, that you go for. You know. Let's pour as much as in here as I can. I think this is going to be very nice. And I'm going to put a little bit in these little ramekins to give it a crustless effect, but because I'm using a keto crust, I am using a crust that I use almond flour. I could do coconut flour, but I find with the coconut flour, it has kind of a sweet, like aftertaste to it. So I'd rather use that for things that are more like a dessert than anything. So I'm hoping this comes out right. Because sometimes quiche can be a little tricky. Well, either way, it's not going to waste. I'm going to definitely be eating it. Let me go ahead and bring this around. Yes, it's nice and lumpy. See, I wish I could show you. Got the whole thing full. Can't let that tip over. And I have my little ramekins. Let me go ahead and put this in the oven. Grabbing my 2 ramekins. I got it at a nice temperature. I got it between 350, 370, something like that. I don't want it to be too hot because I don't want the tops of the things to get burnt or nothing like that. So we're going to see what this takes us like 113 right now, 114. Let's give it about 15, 20 minutes. And we're going to discuss some keto. I like I said earlier, I really enjoy looking at the research studies about it. I mean, this is what made me think. And when I first started, it was very difficult for me to even consider it, because for years I had stopped eating red meat and pork. I mean, from the age of 13 on up to, I think, almost 35, I stopped. But I had gotten to the point in my life where I had basically gotten very desperate, was wondering why I was having such a difficulty losing weight. Weight was not coming off of me at all, and I was like, oh God, what am I supposed to do? Everything people say that you're supposed to be doing is not working. So that's what happened with me. So one day when I went on, I guess I was a person, I used to binge on certain sweets. I used to do all of that kind of stuff. I used to binge, never purged, luckily. I never did anything like that. But I used to binge on certain foods. Of course, ice cream, cakes, different candies and things, you know, and it was like I could not stop, you know, and I was like, okay, God, source, universe, or whatever, what am I supposed to do? Now, this is a funny story. I had happened to turn on my TV, and I love her, and I think, like I say it again, I know I mentioned before, I feel like she saved my life. That's Miss Suzanne Summers. Hi, Miss Suzanne Summers, if you're watching. One of her first books, I think she was on HSN. I started reading that and learning and understanding about it. I felt more comfortable with her program. And it made me so much better. I started losing weight and everything, and I highly recommend her books that she has in her past about getting fit and losing weight, because it really works. And she has a lot of nice recipes in those books too. But when I first saw it, I wasn't feeling it. I was like, no. It's so funny. I've just finished meditating, praying about what is it I should do. Turn on the TV, and there she is. But get this, months later, same situation. I binged. I felt sad and all of this stuff or whatever. Turned on the TV, there she was again. I said, okay, lightning does not have to hit me twice. So I went on to purchase her book, read her book. It was very heartfelt, the beginning of it. It explained why low-carb programs are probably more beneficial for people, particularly women of a certain age, because I'm experiencing some things that are extremely positive that most women, when you get a certain age, either you stay the same or certain things are depleted, especially with your hormones. And your hormones also affect your weight, and even for men too after you reach a certain age. So what I did, I read her program, read her book. I had to do a whole overhaul. I was worried and concerned. It's like, oh goodness, I haven't had beef or pork in years. What am I going to do? Am I going to get sick if I reintroduce it back in my diet and everything? And guess what? I didn't. I really didn't. Sometimes people say some people do. I didn't. So I'm like, okay, this is telling me this is for me anyway. And I'm the type of person, I'm not going to beat my head up against the wall. If something's not working, I'm going to see what else or figure out a way I can do it. If there's no other way, how I can maneuver it, alter it, or do something. I'm just a determined kind of a person when it comes to things like that. So what I did, start eating, but it was hard because a lot of things weren't accessible at that time, I was still cooking a lot of things for my family. It's just me and my husband. We don't have any kids or anything, but we got a lot of nieces and nephews and families. It's a wonderful family. I've been blessed to be married into a fabulous family. I love them all so much, really. And I was still cooking stuff. I would still make other things. I would still have rice. But then I started noticing how my body was feeling. When I start noticing, I'm noticing when I'm eating low carb, this is before the term keto carnivore came about. I noticed I can get up from the chair better. I feel better. I wasn't having like painful female issues at that time. So I had to really sit down and assess. I said, maybe this is working. And I have lost weight, and I really wasn't putting in a whole lot of energy into it. So as time went on, I started doing it more and more, but I would still take my breaks for a week or a weekend. If my husband and I went on vacation, I still took breaks. But I started noticing that wasn't working for me. But then, years later, I was diagnosed as a diabetic. I was in disbelief. I was upset and annoyed at myself. I'm like, okay, what am I doing? Why did I get that diagnosis? And luckily for me, at least at that time, my A1C was just 6.7, and my blood glucose level was 117. So my body was still fighting. So I was like, oh God, what do I need to do to make sure this does not get out of hand? So I would still go to the doctor, still get, checkups, get my blood work and everything, just to make sure things were in line. So obviously I didn't have to take insulin, thank God. I only had to take the metformin at that time. And I would have to go periodically to get my blood work done, like every 3 months, especially checking the A1C, which I didn't mind. And I'm a person, I do not like needles, but for that I didn't mind. That's when I really had to think about what I was eating, studied more, how I was eating. And then I was listening to the gentleman I think his name is Jorge Cruz. Liked him a lot. I think Tyra Banks used to have him on her show. And I listened to him about not consuming no more than 15 to 20 grams of carbohydrates and less than, I think, no more than 5 or 10 grams of sugar a day. And then when you turn around and look at a lot of the juice cartons, even if you think you're getting some vitamin C with some orange juice, you look at the ingredients and look at the amount of sugar and carbohydrates those things have. So it's interesting that a lot of diabetics are still drinking orange juice and still eating an exorbitant amount of fruits and vegetables, and that's affecting your blood sugar levels. Some parts of me still had a hard time with getting the philosophy, the philosophical thing, because I'm the type, I need to see some proof to substantiate what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Although I was seeing it physically, I was gradually reducing, but I did hit a plateau that lasted years, but I still stuck in. So moving up some more, COVID hit. Haha. Stayed in the house. Thank God my husband has the type of job where he works from home too. So that was a blessing. I seldom even went out to do anything unless I had a photo shoot or anything for the other things that I'm into. Of course, y'all know I model and do things with a local talent agent here in the RVA area. And so I said, let me go ahead and get this certification to be a keto and a carnivore coach. And I went to Udemy, and everything, and I started learning more. I was finding, for me, small things were affecting why I wasn't losing as much weight, or I would go down a certain amount, then 10 pounds or more would jump back up. I'm like, and I'm somebody, I work out, I exercise to a point where when I was going to the gym, and now I do exercise at home. Me not going to the gym because of the COVID did not stop me or deter me, or I never got lazy with working out, because I know that's something that the body needs and you have to do, no matter what type of a lifestyle program or dietary program that you're on. You got to work out. So stressing that. So, but when I was taking the course, I noticed small things. I was looking at even the little creams I was putting in my coffee and in my teas in the mornings. I'm like, oh God, that has 5 grams of fat. I mean, not fat, 5 grams of sugar. It has 5 grams of sugar. I'm like, oh God, is that going to affect me? So something would tell me, okay, stop using that. Use plain heavy whipping cream or some half and half. Lo and behold, I start losing some weight. Something that small. Like I said, I know I'm unusual. I know some people don't have to do as much as I have to do to either to lose weight. Because for me to get down to where I want to be, it still might take me a couple of years. That's just how my body is. Whereas some people, they'll lose 150 pounds in 6 months to a year when they follow the regimen or follow what I'm basically, how I'm teaching you and everything as your coach. So I don't really go by me as a guide, but I can show you old pictures of me. And I think somewhere in my on my page, and I put something on my private group. Those of you that are members of my private Facebook group, you can see a before and after, especially the ones that I put in my private group. So you all know that I share extra information with you all. Devastating, but I'm glad I've come a long way from that, and my life has truly changed for the better and for the more positive. Even how I feel about myself, no question about it. But I went on and took the course and got the certification, because people were asking me about my recipes and asking me how I lost weight and all of these things. I said, why not do something with it, do social media, use and utilize and learn all the different facets of social media, in which I did, And at the time I was looking for a job, and it's like, okay, nothing's going on. But I went on and just studied, got that certification, and went on, and here I am, because I do want to help, train, and teach other people how to get this. And I know I've mentioned before that other benefits of being keto, not necessarily to lose weight. Some people do it to just realign other things about their diet, and their health. Some people that may have IBS, even some women that have PCOS, and women that are having trouble conceiving, that are trying to have a baby. Sometimes they can benefit from this type of a regimen or a lifestyle. The only thing that I stress is, if you're thinking about doing it, it's a gradual progression. Yes, it's going to take time to get used to it. Get used to reading labels all the time and determining what's going to affect you and what's not. And the other sticking point to this, which is a benefit to me, is I start noticing other benefits for me, especially the allergies. I don't have issues with allergies anymore like I used to. That is truly a big deal. Yes, it is. I don't have to take all the medications for that and the this and that. And then the allergies used to cause me to have upper respiratory infections 2 or 3 times a year. Glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. So that has truly a blessing, no question about it. I'm telling you. But definitely go ahead and make sure, talk to your doctor. Remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, none of that. Don't want to be, And I'm willing to help you, but you talk to and work with your physicians, especially if you have some type of chronic condition, if this is for you. And one thing about people that have chronic conditions, you have to make sure that you are working with your doctor, and once you make the decision and this is for you, you have to make sure that you stick with it. You may have certain times when hanging out with family, going on vacation, learning how to navigate those waters. That's what I'm here to teach you, how to navigate that, how to prepare when you're going away, what to purchase in the grocery store instead of going to a restaurant. If you go to a restaurant, people want to take you to a restaurant, take you out somewhere, what to get, what to order. Every once in a while, you might have some things that may not be conducive or specific to this type of regimen or lifestyle, but that's okay. Long as you're not doing it every day, but how to stick to it. Like I told myself, and like even over a year span, a whole 12 months, even if you follow whatever program that you're on, at least 80% of the time, you're doing well. And as long as you're seeing results, not just with weight, but maybe other aspects of your health and of your life. So basically, that's how I feel, and that's what I want to share with you all and everything. So it's doable and it's possible, no matter what your age. Because I know some people think I'm a whole lot younger than what I am, and thank you for that. But no, I'm way in my mid-50s, And this has been following this program and this lifestyle has truly been a blessing for me. That's for sure. Consider all the other things that I've done. Like I said, everybody's different, and sometimes I think when people say everybody's different, they're being oppositional. But hey, that's their problem. I'm the type, if something's going to work, I'm doing it. That's the bottom line. I'm doing it. So let me go ahead and check on this quiche for a minute. Be right back. Okay, looks like we got like 5 more minutes or so and everything. And like I said, feel free to DM me, message me, share this video with any of your family, friends, co-workers, or whatever have you. Review this information that I'm talking about and the recipe, and just try. And the first thing I usually start off with to help people is let's talk about your favorite foods. Not just your favorite foods, but what are your go-to foods? What are the things you like to eat when you come home from work, when you're tossing around with the kids, when you're trying to do stuff around the house and you're busy and you don't have that much time to do certain things? What do you like? What's easy and quick to fix? And also, what may be quick to fix for people in your household that they might like also. Like, for example, with me, my go-to favorite food is pizza. No question. I love pizza. That's my favorite thing. That's my go-to food and everything. That's my go-to food that got me in trouble years ago when I was eating regular frozen pizza and going out to eat pizza. So now, thank God for keto and carnivore and being low carb, there are other alternatives to making pizza that I do. And I have some recipes in some previous videos that you all can follow also. And I make pizza almost maybe 4 or 5 times a month, no question. It's definitely a weekend treat for me. Love pizza, And as far as a dessert, I'm a cake person. Cake and cookie. Cake, cookie, ice cream. That's my thing. And once in a while, I do chocolate and stuff like that. So I have some alternative recipes for sugar-free stuff and gluten and carbohydrate-free. And I want to touch on that. When you hear people talk about gluten-free and being keto and low carb, watch that. It's not the same thing. No, it's not. You want to make sure if you eat stuff that's gluten-free, usually people that have celiac disease have to eat stuff that's gluten-free, and some people eat it because they like it or whatever have you. They still use ingredients that are not keto specific. For example, tapioca starch, potato flour, rice flour, those things are not keto. Matter of fact, they'll kick you out of ketosis where you're no longer, your body will no longer use and utilize fat to burn. And you might even start gaining weight if you're trying to mix them both together. So do not do that. When you're keto, low carb, make sure you're getting your almond flour, coconut flour, if you really must use those things, and learn all the other alternatives to make certain things out of. So I'm seeing a lot of things when I go out, even bakeries that are making things that are keto. They're saying keto, but when you see the ingredients, it would even run up your blood sugar, or it's going to take you out of ketosis, and that's what the two things that you don't want to do. So I'm asking you all out here that have bakeries and food manufacturing companies, talk to people like me. We want to help you. We know we want to make people, especially in this beautiful country of ours, America, we want to make people aware, and we want everybody to be healthy and strong. That's what we want. We don't want everybody to be sickly and taking a bunch of medications and things. If that was the way, maybe think of some alternative ways to keep everybody healthy and strong so they can live full lives and everything, and bring forth good, healthy children. That's what we want to see. That's what I want to see, and that's what I want us to experience, So be mindful of that when you follow this type of regimented program, that it is different. You won't be doing the potato starch and all of that stuff. And a lot of things you'll see sugar-free. I used to get happy, sugar-free, woo! But the carbohydrates is enough carbs in whatever that thing is for a whole day. So there is a particular company, like I said, certain treats I'll save for the weekends, or I cut it in half, even if it says keto or sugar-free. You have to watch the carbohydrates and watch your ingredients, watch your seed oils. There's a particular mayonnaise that I like. It's like, oh my goodness, it's soybean oil, loaded. Although it's sugar-free, I'm like, oh God, I can't use this anymore. But I'll still use it every once in a while. Not a big deal. But if I'm seeing if it's having an effect on certain aspects of me and my body, and I watch how my body acts towards certain things, then okay, let it go. But then I did see the alternative to that mayonnaise. Let's just say I am not spending $7, $8, $9, $10 for it. I'll just have to learn how to make my own. And that's another thing that I've had to do. Learn how to make certain things myself. That's no question. So let me go ahead and check this quiche. Let's see how this looks. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to check the center to make sure it's clean. Okay. Now my ramekins, they're a little higher. I'm going to keep them in the oven maybe 5 minutes more. Oh, this is looking good. Going to get a little salsa. And you know what I like to do is taste. So let's make this keto carnivore lifestyle fun. Carnivore is a whole different thing. That's usually, sometimes I follow that mostly where you're just eating beef, butter, bacon, eggs, lamb, if you have bison, deer, those things. And some of those meats, because my grandfather, God rest him, used to hunt. So a lot of things I'm going to start reintroducing. I want to reintroduce in my lifestyle change. Even goat. I love lamb, goat, bison. I love bison and deer and other sheep and other animals that are good for us. And the fat that comes from those animals that some places actually sell, you can purchase those. Animal fat, when you follow these lifestyles, they are so much better for you. Unbelievable. Yeah, some people want to use the coconut oil, the olive oil, and the avocado oil. Those are okay. They're fine. It takes some getting used to. But yes, save that bacon grease. Like all that bacon I cooked for this quiche Lorraine, I'm saving that for other things to cook in too. Even when I do my eggs in the morning, So you can still have those things. And it's amazing how you feel, how you can move, get up and down out the chair. And I work out, let's say Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I try to get 15,000 steps in, and I get pretty close to it before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, I do specific things for that. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I work out with weights. I want to up my weights a little bit and everything. You can do this too. Takes time. You can do it too. And sometime this month or next month, I'm due for my checkup. So I'll be sharing that information with you when I get those results back. So get things, tell you what's going on. I like to keep everything nice and transparent. You know, I'm here to help you and serve you the best way that I can so you can get good results. And you men out there, oh my God, you all get results so quick and so fast. I wish us women could be more like y'all. But you all get, as soon as you start, usually the first month you lose about 25 or 30 pounds. It's like, really? Took me 3 years to lose that amount and everything. So, so that's basically it. So I'm going to check these little ramekins. Be right back. Taking a little minute, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a piece. See how this is going to be. Ooh, this is so convenient. My kitchen island, the utensils are right there. Love that. And this is the one I have with the crust. And because I don't, like I said, I don't want to keep you all too long. Look at that. See that? I'm sharing it with my Instagram people too. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Make sure I get every smidgen. Now it's still a little warm. I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste. Look how gooey that is. Look at that. Look at that. And all that good bacon. And when I sauteed my onions, you know, you put the garlic in right before you take it off the stove so the garlic won't burn. Actually caramelize the onions. And you put the bacon in. I even used a little bacon fat with the butter to caramelize my onions. Feel free to do that. Let's see. Oh, this is delicious. Quiche, Lorraine. Make this for your family. This is so good. That is delicious. Don't be afraid of that bacon. The bacon fat. Keto carnivore, that's what you want to eat. Let me get the little ramekins out. They should be ready right now. Ooh, look at that. Looks like a souffle. Oh, that's hot. Let me get the other one out. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with myself. But this is so good. I wish you were here. Any of you, some of you that already really know me, if you're close by, make sure you wear your mask. Feel free to give me a call and say, save me a piece. I will certainly do that for you. This is so good. Absolutely delicious. I just want to say once again, thank you. Thank you for joining me. I'm Tina the Keto Coach, and this has been another beautiful episode of Friday Night Treats with Tina. Don't forget to check my description information for as far as purchasing my swag and joining my private keto group. I usually put stuff up there maybe once or twice a week, information regarding keto and everything, and special things just with the group, because I know a lot of people are interested in this type of program and this lifestyle. Just want to say thank you so much for joining me. You all have a fabulous weekend. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.